Hello, this is Joy News Desk with me, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up, nationwide manhunt underway for 21 suspects linked to violent incidents during Ghana's 2020 and 2024 general elections. The arrest claimed 15 lives and left 40 others injured across multiple regions.
The Special Investigation Task Force identified 12 cases that took place during the 2020 and 2024 general election.
Also coming up, Environmental Protection Authority conducts swoops in Chanfine producing shops in the Shanti region. We have details. Farmers worried as more than 1.2 million metric tons of rice, maize and soybeans remain unsold across farming communities nationwide. And in our Dear Mahama series, there's a looming public health crisis in Winneba, as residents say their taps are no longer delivering potable water, but danger. These plus some business updates and others. To stay with us. We'll be right back.
There has become a delay.
Well, it starts with the Interior Ministry, and the Minister Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak says investigations have so far identified 21 suspects. 4 have been arrested, 5 remanded, while warrants have been issued for those still at large. He emphasized that no one connected to the electoral bloodshed will be allowed to evade accountability. According to the minister, the violent incidents were spread across several regions and are now under renewed scrutiny by a 30-member task force within the Criminal Investigations Department. The team has reviewed 12 fatal cases from both elections.
Investigation into one of the cases during the 2020 general election at Odududu was completed. The Attorney General is currently prosecuting 3 persons who are standing trials at the High Court Criminal Division, Accra. The investigation established that 3 of the cases resulting in 4 deaths are traceable to the use of firearms by armed police patrol teams. Military personnel were also found to be responsible for 3 of the cases resulting in the death of 3 persons when they intervened to restore calm to chaotic crowds. Investigation further established that 4 of the cases, which resulted in 5 deaths, were recorded when party enthusiastic supporters resorted to the use of firearms against their opponent. The 2 other cases involve persons who were lynched during confrontation between supporters of the 2 major parties. The Inspector General of Police inaugurated a special task force within the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, of the Ghana Police Service. The mandate of the task force was to collaborate with the stakeholders to identify, review, and investigate all electoral violent cases that resulted in fatalities during the 2020 and 2024 general election. The Special Investigation Task Force identified 12 cases that took place during the 2020 and 2024 general election. These cases had resulted in 15 deaths across the country, and well over 40 individuals got injured. The report outlined detailed account of all the 12 cases recorded during the period. The detailed report, which has been submitted to His Excellency the President, also contains the various incidents, how they were brought or got to the notice of the police, and actions taken by investigators in line with the laid down investigation protocol and procedure.
Well, let's deep deeper into this. Joining me now is security analyst Dr. Victor Doke and Kodeus Kwabena Mensah Brampa, who has monitored several elections over the years. Both guests join me. Mr. Doke, let me start with you. Dr. Doke, I beg your pardon. The Interior Minister mentioned that indiscriminate shooting by some police patrol teams led to the loss of lives in both the 2020-2024 elections. Yet he insists those orders did not come from police authority. From a security standpoint, what does this suggest about the chain of command and accountability within the police service during election operations?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to you and then my co-panelists. I think in all of this, it tells us there's a critical challenge with regards to what happens when things go haywire, cross into the war. We don't expect the system to take its course when we go for demonstration as security personnel simulating exercises and we expect that things should go the same way. It doesn't happen. So then, when you are faced with tough situations such as this, normally the chain of command is broken as to what you do, and then out of, should I say, instinct, for the personnel instinct to protect themselves or lives or property, they shoot. Now, this is what we need to look at. How do we ensure, with regards to training for the personnel, so they will understand the dynamics when it comes to crowd control, and then having live ammunition. That's two distinctions should be very clear. Because then, if every time we have crowds who are dictating or not adhering to what instructions, and then we have personnel who are live ammunition, does that mean they will always have to shoot in the air, warning shots, or whatever? So we need to look at this dynamics very well. But it tells us there's a critical challenge when it comes to following chain of command, regulations, standard operation procedures, and the rule of law itself in dealing with the or the situation itself.
Well, the minister also revealed that spent shells could not be retrieved from the incident area. What does this say about the ballistic examination that went on at that particular point in time? Meaning that, what does it say about the response of police personnel in such trying moments, or the situation at such scenes? Heavy rainfall, poor, environmental conditions destroyed evidence that could have been used to at least, get to the bottom of that situation. How critical is evidence preservation really in cases like this? And what does this say about the professionalism or preparedness of our security forces in such tense operations?
Right. So in an instance like this, how many hours you collect evidence? Let's look at that first of all. Within 72 hours, you need to collect evidence from the area, barricaded area. So nobody can get evidence, number one. Number two, look at the time frame where we had what calls or what investigation. How long did it take? So by now, visual evidence would have been damaged, either through natural phenomena or easily. People themselves will have tampered with it. You understand? So now, if I'm a security personnel and I know that a situation like this has happened, I didn't follow the command, I shot, while I didn't have, then it's what I do well, cover up. And like that, taking the evidence out of the crime scene. So it is out. Now, we look at time frame, we look at evidence. So in all of it tells us that we are competent in the area of control is very bad. We don't really understand what happens when crowds get agitated. Okay? How do we ensure going forward, not even related to election, anything for that matter, which involves crowds, do we deploy men with live ammunition or equipment that are, sort of like contain the crowd if they should become violent? So evidence gathering is very key. The time frame, I'm sorry, looking at the time which the evidence was there and the time calls started coming for investigation, we won't find it. It's not something you're going to find. So then, it even tells us that right now, even what to do in that.
Dr. Doke, kindly reposition yourself. I'm losing you there, so we can hear you properly.
Okay, it's okay now.
Much better. I hope you can maintain this. Let's move.
Sure. So I was saying, it tells us that what an institution needs, because then you have people who have tampered with evidence or through natural phenomena, there is no evidence found. Do we still maintain the standard operation procedures, or what happens? So if it is in the context of election, then we need to deal holistically with the problem. When deploying the men, we may not come out with a clear or describe a contract or something of that sort to make them liable and answer to any kind of incident that happens, whether an election is support or the death or injury of a citizen is involved. So we need to look at all these things. But it doesn't really necessarily mean the security apparatus or aspect of this matter is incompetent. It's just a matter of challenges that come through when you're dealing with these issues.
Well, we also understand from the Interior Minister that some of these cases have now been referred to the cold case unit. For the benefit of our audience, what does this referral mean in practical terms? Does this suggest renewed commitment to get to the bottom of this, or a quiet shelving of the case?
Well, the cold room means literally crime has no expiry date. So no matter how long it takes, they can revisit the case. Okay, so it means when it's there, it also fosters accountability, ensures that whatever that has to do with a case is followed up to the latter. Now, I am of the view that if a report comes out, to see to it that everybody gets justice, you play out or implement a recommendation. But to say cases are referred to the code, then it means you don't intend to do this at any time soon. Although there are other things or important, issues to look at. This is equally important. Why not just we look at it and deal with the situation once and for all, than to refer to the code?
Right. Let me bring in Mr. Brampa. He is with Codeo. He's been monitoring elections for years. And Mr. Brampa, let me come to you. And you've been monitoring elections across Ghana for several years. When you look at the patterns of violence in 2020 and 2024, at least that which has been presented to us by the Interior Minister, what do you see? Do you see systemic lapses that have been ignored over time?
Good morning to Doc, also on the other line, and thank you for inviting me. Yes, that's why various stuff this morning, I first commented a bit that has done time around because that for over the years. I remember first on this about Dr. Ghana and Kutiana developing specific intervention the electoral. And since then had consistent calling post-election violence accountability, which we never. So this is an effort that we need to commend. Whatever lapses there are, I think there has been a pillar for benchmarking. There has been a report for tracking. Now.
Mr. Baba, I lost you there for a moment.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I was saying,
yes,
people have heard people criticizing the report. For example, somebody said, "Why was the investigation only conducted era of one administration?" Okay.
Yes.
Or was for only a, but they were elected. That was managed. The end. Why did it go there? My response has been to comment in the effort that has been done. Because over the years, media side and the opinion in general have been called post-election electoral violence accountability. So the steps taken should be commended whilst we interrogate the report itself to find out whether it's all encompassing enough.
Right. Well, the Interior Minister's statement also suggests a slow-moving justice process, Families of these victims are still waiting for closure, some 5 years after the 2020 especially. From your work, what usually accounts for this long delay in delivering justice and compensation?
So one has been the people involved in the electoral violence themselves, their level of knowledge and perception that they themselves could not help themselves until the party structures do help them. And the party structures themselves also neglect them after they've gotten what they want. For example, we did a post-election tracking to most of the constituencies after the 2020 election. And you ask the victims the status of their cases, they will tell you usually we haven't heard from our secretary, we haven't heard from our chairman. So they put their hope of justice in the party structures. And these party structures are populist. So they respond to the media when these press cases come and they go to donate food items and cash items. All right, after 3 months, they don't go there again. So that has been one of the cases because the people in the soup themselves, the victims, think that they can never be or they like to do that in the hope that we actually fill them. The second one being the total that demand side account. Somebody will tell you electoral violence and normal violence. And therefore, after elections, before election, you see people making noise, media houses in their rooms, civil society organizations call for peace, religious bodies, the clergy, everybody. But right after election, you forget about what happened in the election. So the lack of demand side accountability in the system makes the justice system institutions relax because there are no pressure on them to supply. Don't forget, accountability is both supply and demand.
Right.
When one side is not coming, the other side relaxes. So these are the two main issues that have caused the delay.
Well, in some of these cases, victims' families have reportedly received no compensation. Well, at least until now. The Interior Minister is saying that there will be some compensation given to families. But how significant is this compensation in restoring confidence? Does it risk becoming a token gesture if justice itself has not been delivered?
So compensation is an aspect of moral policing. Justice is an aspect of compensating for criminality. We cannot change one for the other. They can go hand in hand. I said this morning that while we try to the sufferings of the victims we ought to institute the active measures through the justice system. So the two put together. Story here is how does that compensation or over as victims that would identify so that don't have compensation that will itself break protect the system, especially where these covert administration, we may start to face people that have followed them. I like them. I don't create a school that people will catalyze and criticize the work that is started. So I said this point. One, some of you, the media houses have videos, you have tapes, you have records. Civil society organizations have videos, have tapes, have records. How do we open the investigation again, bring all these people together, present any evidence that are available so that we are able to cover enough ground so that we don't do skewed compensation that will instead generate disappointment in the system?
What sort of compensation, in your opinion, will appease these families if the Interior Minister or, representatives of the government meet these families?
Compensations are not specific. It depends on the scenario and the system. I visited the mother of the victim who was shot and killed in Techiman, one of them, the cargo driver, and I saw the situation of the mother, and I could tell in the absence of the son what will happen to the family. So instead, we perhaps risking the mother to keep herself or losing the hand that was in her way. There are people whose skills, motorbikes that were destroyed. How do we, in certain situations, somebody is given opportunity to tell her story and people sympathize with the person. They know it's anything at all. That was now. So we need to tackle the basic background of the victims, their situations, and where they stand now. So it cannot be before. And assess of the victims which they are continuing will give us a type of in, we can them. Don't forget, can never get them 100%. But some reason that if you are going, is it better in, is it private, is it a nation and a state, so the assess and the of the victim will guide us to a complete package.
I hope we can hear you clearly this time, but finally, before I let you off, as Ghana prepares for the 2028 elections and obviously other future elections, what lessons should both the Electoral Commission and also the security agencies be drawing from these violence or tragedies to prevent a recurrence?
My sister, election is law. Elections involve human beings. And anywhere you have human society, there are bound to be infractions. The only thing we can do is institution of proper sanctioning regime and its enforcement based on non-biased means. That's the reason why we came up with the Vigilance and Related Offences Act 2019. Some people were saying to formulate that law, saying already criminal can with any criminality. Some of it causes the lenience of the sanction regime in the act. But since the vigilance came, I have seen any that have charged the act. So what really was put in place current I think go back to that offense act, the initiative made and publicize penalty actions we met up with them. This will be a good form service warning for who may have during election.
Right, Mr. Kwabena Mensah Abrampa, thank you so much. He's with Kodeo, CDD Ghana. And Dr. Doke, if you're still with me, your last words before I let you off. Do we still have Dr. Doke with us? It doesn't seem so, but we're so grateful for your time on News Desk. Mr. Dr. Victor Doke, he's a security analyst, and Paul Abrampa for sharing their insights on this issue. Oh, and I understand Dr. Doke is with us. Dr. Doke, if you can hear me, your last words before I let you off. All right, moving on. So, farmers across Ghana are worried that more than 1 million metric tons of rice, maize, and soybeans remain unsold across farming communities nationwide. Stakeholders have described the situation as a national agricultural emergency triggered by market distortions, unsold produce, and inconsistent policies. Let's engage Mr. Ado Awal. He's president of Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Yeah, good to have me on your show.
I'm grateful to have you as well. But, I mean, this conversation is really not a new one. We keep coming back to this. What makes this one, you know, I would say different or even more pressing than other years have been?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's quite better now. The line was not...
Great. So I was asking the situation, the food situation. I mean, what makes this year's pressing than other years?
Yeah, what makes it pressing is because this year we've been able to harvest so much. We've been able to harvest so much, and like we indicated in our statement, across the country, we have so much metric tons of rice that is paddy rice. And again, you realize that this particular year, because of the appreciation of the Ghana cedi, it appears the foreign rice, the imported rice has become cheaper in the market. So you could see that many more people are turning to buy the imported rice, which has become cheaper as a result of the appreciation of the Ghana cedi. But that notwithstanding, we still believe that we should be able to buy what we produce in this country. Government should also be able to buy our rice, as they have indicated, the buffer stock company. And of course, we also even realize that the minister supported from farmers with a lot of fertilizer, the Minister of Agriculture, since he came into office, and that was also a major boost to the agriculture sector. But of course, once we produce, we would then expect that it should be marketed. There should be market for the farm produce so that our members can make some money, will be able to purchase input for the next planting season, and so on and so forth. And that is the source of worry to us. Because if we produce, and then we tend to see that other cheap imports are dominating the market, our borders are also so porous to the extent that we have cheap rice that is coming from our neighbors. You understand? Of course, it's normally imported into those countries, then it finds its way into the country, and then people tend to develop this for that kind of rice, and it's not going to help us. It will defeat the very purpose of Ghana becoming self-sufficient in rice production.
So are you saying that the import of rice is preventing you from selling yours? Simply put.
Of course, if you look at what you call it, the one that passes through our borders to the country, some is very cheap, others are of low quality, and they find their way into the market. And if they find a way into the market, if you look at the amount they are selling, it tends to attract more people towards it compared to the high quality local rice that we have in this country.
I'm very convinced that the consuming public will be happy to have quality rice on their dinner table every now and then. But could it also be your method of selling, which could be a problem, maybe packaging, processing, how it goes into the system could be another challenge you're facing so that you're able to disrupt the market?
We have quality rice in this country. The one we produce in Ghana is of higher quality. One of the things that is working against us, like I indicated, is that these imported rice are cheaper. Some of them are cheaper because they are of low quality. So they can't compete in terms of quality with the local rice that we produce. And you know, some Ghanaians have developed this for foreign things. So that will not let us compete favorably in the market, even though our rice is of higher quality. Our rice is of higher quality. And that is why we believe that there should be a policy. Government policy should intervene in this direction to be able to save our life. We indicate all public institutions should be mandated to buy the local rice. That is how we are going to support the rice farmer, and that's how the rice farmer can produce more. Government, through the buffer stock company, should be able to buy this excess or surplus rice, put in the government warehouses, and supply it to government institutions. We have school feeding programs. Right. All the schools that we have in this country, that government is feeding the kids in those schools, they should be consuming local rice. We should have a situation like we had last year. People are giving contracts to go to India to import rice to the school feeding program. That should be a thing of the past. We will expect that all the rice that will be consumed by our students across the country should be locally produced rice. Public institutions should be mandated to also buy the local rice, which is of high quality compared to some of the cheap inferior rice that is coming to this country.
Well, with this situation at hand, how is it informing your movement or your measures for next planting season?
Of course, that is why we were very, how do I call it? We're very happy when we heard the announcement by Buffer Stock that government has released another 100 million Ghana cedis. And that is why this time we made it clear. We want to know those who have been awarded the contracts to buy the rice from the community. We want the buying of the rice to commence immediately. We want to know the timeline. Which, if you have been awarded the contract, which communities are you supposed to move the rice from? All that should be made public so that we can track the activities of those who have been given contracts to buy this rice from the farmers. It's very, very important to us. If you don't do that, what it means is that farmers cannot make it. In the next planting season, we are going to cut down on production. And when we cut down on production, of course, there's going to be shortage. It's likely to also affect the prices of rice in the market, and it will defeat government's very purpose, like I said, of making Ghana become self-sufficient in food production. Inflation is going to go up. Remember, once inflation is coming down, it is the food component that is driving down inflation. Right. And we believe that government will not sit down and allow farmers to cut down on production. That will derail the efforts that is being made. And we want to see Buffer Stock take agent action to address this situation.
All right. Thank you so much, Wepia Ado Awal. He's president of the Peasant Farmers Association. Moving on, the Environmental Protection Authority is on the grounds in the Ashanti region swooping on Chanfan production shops. The EPA says this is part of its efforts to halt illegal mining. And Nana Aljima joins us with updates there. Nana Aljima, what is the latest from where you are?
They shut another one down. Now down the road, on the same stretch, we are seeing this one also in here, which the people are preventing the EPA from entering. Let's talk to some of the leadership of the EPA to find out exactly what is being done here. Sir, we see that you are trying to get your way into this warehouse. Why are you using this method to get in there?
Yes, so initially we haven't informed anybody of our coming. So you saw that we had access to about 4 warehouses. Subsequent ones, they have all decided to lock from inside. We cannot have access from outside. So we are trying to force our way in, at least to know what items that are stocked in here. We are going to do similar for the other shop. Whether they close or not, we will still have to find ways and means to enter forcefully, because you yourself, you can see that the documents they have do not cover some of these machine parts they are selling. So I think it's just in order for us to understand what items or equipment they actually have. So we will definitely have access.
Is it likely that the people are in there?
Yes. From the previous experience, you see that we open, even Ghanaian counterparts who are selling for them are all locked up in this chemical kind of warehouses. I don't think it's even healthy for them, but well, the instructions that have been given to them by the Chinese, and most of them are in. And for this particular warehouse, I am proposing to the CEO that if we get any nationals inside, we are going to lock up the person. If they are inside,
so the EPA is successful, and as you can see, the Chinese national was in there. He had locked himself and his staff in there, and they were preventing the EPA officials from getting access to the place. So now, after they were successful, they found out that the Chinese national had locked himself in here. So it's suspected that there are other people all in here, being locked in here, preventing the EPA officials from getting access to the place. The information is that a lot of these warehouses have gotten wind of what the EPA is doing within the enclave, and they are preventing the EPA from getting access to the area. Yes, sir.
So you understand what I was saying, that they definitely lock themselves inside. Why will a law enforcement agency come to your shop and you are closing your shop, that you don't allow them to have access to your place? So it's largely spread, but we will ensure that whether you open or you close, we definitely have to have access to your shop. That's what we are doing.
So if you are successful in shutting down this area, it means that it brings the number to 3, if I'm right.
No, this is the 5th shop we are in now. And then we are going to do at least 10 other shops on the stretch. Tomorrow's operation, we will not talk about it on TV. It is going to be similar, but on a different style. Yes.
So all the 5 shops that so far you've locked down are places that are stocking these Chanfan equipment and other boats?
Yes, all of them are stocking same product, and we believe that they are just aiding illegal mining. Because even if you are selling to a mining company, you need to have a service permit to even sell to a bigger mining company. So who are they selling to? Definitely they are aiding illegal mining and then small-scale mining that are not authorized at wherever they are mining.
So from where I stand now, I can see a pumping machine already in here, and it looks like there are other machines that are used for these illegal activities also spread around this area. Can we take a tour? Let's look at them, and let's do a brief description of what they have in here. So this is a pumping machine, I think.
A water pumping machine, which myself and you know of what they use it for. They put it in the water to pump water onto their washers, which I think for some of the equipment, yes, they are allowed to store, but some of them is not within their powers or their jurisdiction to store some of this equipment. So we are climbing up on those ones that are not permitted or are not allowed.
So now what's next? We've seen the Chinese, the owner of this area or the shopkeeper of this area. He has come out, you are speaking to him. Is it that you are going to enter?
Forcefully.
Yes.
Yes, he came out forcefully. It was just because we're trying to force open, that's why he came. So we definitely have to let the police take over whilst we try to load some of the items that are not authorized to be sold here. Yes.
So does it look like this place will also be shut down?
Yes, it will definitely be shut down. All the shops on this stretch that are selling anything that is not permitted will definitely have to be shut down, at least for the period whilst we have the discussion.
Your name again?
My name is Sydney Kwekudans, the Regional Director for EPA, Ashanti.
Mr. Dankwa, thank you very much. So this is one of the shops that looks like the EPA will be shutting down here today within the Anyankwanta enclave. So within about 300 meters down the Anyankwanta Obuasi stretch, about 5 of these warehouses without the necessary authorization or the permit to stock some of these equipment have been shut down within the enclave. So we have another official here, and I think he has more details on what exactly they are finding in here.
Yes, so Dr. Jacob Archuganankwa is my name. I'm the Deputy CEO in charge of General Services. So I'm here with my boss and the Acting Regional Director to identify all the Shangfan producing and selling points within this enclave. We all know the serious repercussions of the illegal activities. We know the repercussions that these activities have had in our water bodies, in our food ecosystem, and then the food systems that we have. Now, if you come here, this particular material is what they use to line the Shangfans and then pump the water from the riverbed onto it and trap the gold. So you have series of them. You see them importing these. You think they're using them for astroturf pitches or room or house lining. But this is decor, and this is exactly what. So you have series of them. Okay, you have series of them, and all these are used in the illegal mining. So in fact, this is a wake-up call to all of us. We have seen, you are witnesses to how we struggle to get into this building. When we started the first operations, they all decided to lock the shops. All the shops, over 200 of them along the stretch and still counting, have all locked up. I'm sure they are communicating. And then when we knocked, they refused to open. We had to force our way through. And by the time the door was forcefully opened, the Chinese man was found.
Well, we move now to Klagon, where we understand that 3-story buildings have collapsed, and my colleague Bayaga is there for us. What can you report, Bayaga?
The people have come here, including the Member of Parliament for the Tema West constituency and also the MC. As I speak, now it is unclear as to whether people are trapped under it. Some officials from the Ghana National Fire Service, NADMO, among others, are all here to check the situation. But let's just speak with the MP for the Tema West constituency to understand what he has picked up based on his monitoring so far. This is just happening a week after a similar situation happened at Roman Ridge in the Ayawaso West municipality. But now let me engage the Member of Parliament for this particular area. Honourable, thank you very much. You're live on Joy News. Talk to us about this particular building collapse. You came here. Based on your checks, what have you found so far?
Thank you very much. This morning I had a distress call that there is a property here at Klagon within the Tema West municipal area which had collapsed. So actually it was the MC who gave me the call, and then immediately we had to rush in here to come and assess the situation and have a first-hand information as far as the situation is concerned. And then when we got here, at least we have engaged the community, we have engaged the neighbors, trying to find out exactly what happened. And the information we have is that as early as 4 a.m. this dawn, the building just collapsed completely. Just one time collapse completely. It didn't happen in piecemeal, it was just one full collapse. And then our understanding was that the tremor, the panic, the fear in the neighborhood was very terrible. So people had to try and move out from their houses and evacuate from their houses and all that.
But there were speculations that people have been trapped here. Based on your checks, are you able to confirm this to us?
Okay, so when we came, we have made all the inquiries. We spoke to the neighbor right behind the building, the neighbors on both sides and all that. The information we are gathering is that They don't think that there is anybody trapped in there. This is the information they are giving us. But of course, they are also saying that sometimes people are just passing by because it's an uncompleted building. People may come to relax, sit down and lie down, especially some of these squatters who don't have anywhere to live. Somebody just passing by can decide to sit there or lie down and sleep there and wake up early morning. So we cannot be 100% sure that there is nobody trapped in there. It's just that the information is that they are not sure that there is anybody. But of course, since it happened, the MC is here. We have our NADMO coordinators here. We have the police service here. We have all the stakeholders, fire service, all the stakeholders that are, as far as this matter is concerned, they are all around. What they have tried to do immediately is to disconnect the electricity line. Okay. There are some best pipeline which is also flowing. Steps are being taken. I think Ghana Water is also coming to make sure that they ratify the situation.
Okay. But do you also intend to clear the rubble at the moment?
Yes, so the MC, myself, we made this.
And that was my colleague Patel Bayaga speaking to the buildings have collapsed in Klagon, but we're getting details of that in subsequent bulletins. This morning, there's looming public health crisis in Winneba. Residents say their taps are no longer delivering potable water. For 1 year, brown, muddy liquid, almost raw river water, has been flowing in their taps into their homes. Many families are left with no option than to use the contaminated water for domestic purposes. Others have also turned to seawater. Now, the Winneba network simply cannot clean what illegal mining has polluted upstream. In this edition of Dear Mahama, #Stop Galamsey, Winneba residents are pleading with the president to fulfill his promise.
Winneba, water, the most basic need, has become a daily gamble. Taps run not with clean water, but with murky, brown liquid that stains clothes, and residents say now threatens their lives.
We ended our semester exams last Tuesday, and I went to church to give thanks to God for a successful end of semester, and to also seek for traveling mercies as I travel.
Meet Amos Indam, a level 300 student of the University of Education, Winneba. Today should be a joyous day. He just finished his semester exams and went to church to give thanks to God. But his biggest worry is not his grades. It is how to stay clean in a town where water has become a hazard.
The issues of water has become a threat in the life of the people of Winneba, especially these very jurisdictions where I live. Some of us have to resort into going to fetch water from the sea, the salt water. And of course I did.
Amos is not asking for miracles, only colorless water, the kind he once learned about in class.
But what I was taught when I was in basic school, water is colorless. But this very time, water has become something different, especially in the morning. When you go to fetch water, it will marvel you to see the color of water being yellowish, containing some particles, such that even if you wash with a cloth that is white, you end up staining it. So much afraid, so I'm not going to wash here. I'll take it home and wash. Because if I do, that will end its lifespan. So I'm not going to wash it here.
So where are you going to wash it? Where are you coming from?
I'm from water region. So when I get home, as long as I'll be here, so I'll put it when I get home anytime I wash. But before we started exams, I was admitted 3 times. And I think it's as a result of the water. Not that I drink, but when I bath, after finishing, I feel some scratches on my skin.
Students and parents of the John Evans Male Senior High School at Otwam in the Kumfi municipality can now look forward to better learning conditions following a sword cutting for the school's first ever boarding facility. The project, funded by Get Fund and championed by Member of Parliament for Kumfi, Dr. Eko Kwenu, will address long-standing accommodation challenges that have affected academic focus and student well-being. Dr. Kwenu hinted at a 2026 completion timeline, assuring that funds will be used judiciously to ensure the project is completed on schedule and serves its intended purpose.
The John Evans Male Senior High School Ghana's first E-Block institution, established at Ekunfi Otuam in honor of the late president, is set to transition into a boarding school. This follows a sword-cutting ceremony for the construction of a boarding facility for the students. The project, sponsored by Get Fund, comes ahead of the school's 10th anniversary celebration scheduled for November. Speaking at the sword-cutting ceremony, the headmaster, Francis Atu Davis, described the initiative as a significant milestone in improving students' welfare and academic experience.
More importantly, this project is a monumental leap forward for students' welfare. It promises a safe, secure, and nurturing home away from home, where our students' well-being is the central priority, supported by caring housemasters and mistresses. In breaking this ground, we are not just digging earth, we are planting a seed for a brighter, more empowered generation. We are building more than walls. We are building character, community, and a legacy of excellence that will endure for generations to come.
The Member of Parliament for Ekunfi, Dr. Othniel Lekwo-Kwenu, who championed the project, assured that the allocated funds would be used efficiently to ensure timely completion.
Fortunately, we didn't just come here to cut the sword. This is a project that has funding from Get Fund. You can see clearly the officials from Get Fund coming here and letting us know the span with which this project has to be executed. For us, our job is to make sure that we continue to chase them and make sure that whatever funding has been allocated will be used for the right purpose, so that the benefit of this public funds will be felt not only in the Ekunfi but in the whole of Ghana. Because here we accommodate children for the whole of Ghana to come and study. And therefore, if it happens and it is done well, I believe it will benefit the whole country as a whole. This is a very huge investment that government is doing. We expect to see good grades from the school. We expect to see good, behaviors.
The Ekunfi District Director of Education, Kalfui Mary Alija, commended the move, highlighting its financial significance.
So if you have a boarding facility where the students will stay here, safe, and then learn and do the academic work, I think this place will be one of the best in the central region. We'll come out with excellent grades because it's a serene environment and it is very good for nurturing our students.
From Ekunfi Otuam, Abigail Lisol Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
And here in the Greater Accra region, you're watching Joy News Desk. We'll take a break. We'll be back with business.
Welcome back to business here on Newsdesk. My name is Winston Take. Now to a first business story. Inflation rate has slowed further from 9.4% in September to 8% for the month of October. That's according to the data released by the Ghana Statistical Service in Accra today. According to the service, this drop was influenced by declining prices of food on the market. This is the 10th consecutive decline and the lowest since June 2021. Away from that, the Ghana Institution of Engineering has been urged to take a leading role in shaping national policies and driving the country's food security agenda. The call was made by Senior Hosty, founder and executive chairman of Cleave & Tove Limited when he delivered a keynote-provoking address at the GI Annual Ethics Lecture in Accra.
This year's ethics lecture themed Feeding Ghana Responsibly, the ethical role of engineers, founder and executive chairman of Cleave & Tove Limited, Senior Hosty, challenged engineers to claim their place in national policy formulation and lead the nation's development drive.
Government recently launched the Feed Ghana program as its flagship agricultural program. I don't know how many of you here have seen the policy document. This is the Institute of Engineers, Institution of Engineering. Yeah, I got it right. Have you seen the document? Have you reviewed it? This is supposed to be the country's flagship agricultural program. The Constitution in Article 1, Clause 1 states that the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in a manner and within the limits laid down in that Constitution. How do we talk welfare of a people without the necessities of our survival? It's totally impossible.
Representing the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Chief Technical Advisor Kwesi Itubonde said, engineers have a critical role in ensuring food systems are sustainable and environmentally responsible.
To make decisions that safeguard our environment, protect public health, and advancing social equity. To feed Ghana responsibly is therefore not only scientific or economic challenge, it is an ethical one. It requires engineers, along with policymakers, farmers like my good self, and industrial players to align innovation with responsibility and progress with sustainability.
The Vice President of the institution, Engineer Dr. Patrick Bequin, reaffirmed the GHIE's commitment to supporting government initiatives such as the Feed Ghana program and the 24-hour economy agenda. The event brought together industry experts, policymakers, and engineers to discuss how ethical engineering can help Ghana build a resilient and sustainable food system.
That's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. Back to Mommy.
Winston, you're looking sharp this morning. It's been a long time. I hope you're doing well.
God is keeping us always.
Thanks for business. Well, that's all for Joy News Desk this morning. We're grateful for your company. We'll be back again tomorrow for more.